Hello, welcome again to Jackrabbit Journal. The Summit League basketball tournament starts this Saturday. The Jackrabbit women will play Fort Wayne in the second game on Saturday afternoon. That is set for a 2:30 tip-off time. And it's a Jackrabbit doubleheader on Saturday. The SDSU men will play Saturday night in the late game at 8:30 against Oral Roberts. And we will have all of the first-round games and the semifinals from the Summer League tournament here on Midco Sports Network. Now, the SDSU women are a mystery wrapped inside a riddle, stuffed in a big box of who knows what is going to happen in the tournament. They had a really tough three-game road trip to end the regular season, lost at South Dakota, and then lost at IUPUI on Thursday, 63-60, and then they won at Western Illinois by a point on Saturday, 66-65. Ellie Thompson with the go-ahead bucket with 13 seconds left to get the victory, and the Jackrabbits earned the 2 seed in the tournament, so that's the good news. But the Jacks have been in a season-long shooting slump, and if you don't want to call it a slump, at least it's a downtick in the shooting numbers so far this season, and we'll talk about that and the tournament coming up with Aaron Johnston in a bit. The Jackrabbit men just beat Oral Roberts on Saturday to end the regular season. That, combined with Fort Wayne's loss on Saturday, gives the Jacks a share of the regular season championship in the Summit League for the second straight season. Mike Dahm continues his bid for Summit League's Sixth Man of the Year. He had 20 points in 23 minutes on Saturday to lead the Jacks in that win. He also had 20 in the win over North Dakota State on Thursday. And Reed Tellinghusen playing well lately. And he really has been all season. If you look beyond the scoring numbers only, he's playing defense, doing a lot of things, and we'll talk with Coach Nagy about all those other little things that have gone into this season for the Jackrabbits and get his take on taking on Oral Roberts on Saturday in the Summit League tournament when we come back.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. The SDSU men's basketball team said thank you to 5 seniors on Saturday after the Jacks win over Oral Roberts. Kind of an odd story of how those 5 came into the program at different times, but they all go out together. And the Jacks pull off another big accomplishment this season, a share of the Summit League regular season championship. Here is head coach Scott Nagy. Finished up another regular season, another home season undefeated here at Frost Arena. How big a deal is that to you, this 29-game home winning streak you guys are on right now?
Well, the number doesn't mean anything to me, and I think it is 4 out of the last 5 years we've been undefeated. And I said it on Senior Day, and most people don't understand. But it, I mean, in terms of the history of college basketball, it's one of the great runs. It really is, and all these guys have been a part of it. Three of our seniors, Keaton and George and DeAndre, have never lost a game at home. And obviously Jake and Corey have been involved in just an incredible streak, and have been involved in 2 of them. At one point we were leading the nation with like 30, and now we're at 29 again. And so, it's a combination of, it's a great home court advantage, obviously, because we have great fans and we have good basketball players, and that's a good combination.
This senior class kind of came together in a different way, didn't it? I mean, you had Corey Jacobson was here for 5 years, Biddle was here for 4. George 2.5. Keaton was here.
Yeah,
for 3.
they all came at different times.
Weird way,
they all came at different times, and it is a little bit bizarre, and started playing at different times, but it's worked out well. They all get along very well, and George and DeAndre and Jake all live together, and it's been and like I say, the guy that never gets talked about is Corey, and he's the greatest. He's the greatest teammate that anybody's ever had. He
brought everybody to tears after the game on Saturday, but a kid like that, like you said, what does he contribute in practice and to this game?
He's he shows up early for scout team every day, and is he knows everybody, what they're running, and that's why I always say I wouldn't hesitate to put Corey in a game, because he's a tremendous shooter and he knows what the other team's doing, and so if we ever got in that situation, foul trouble, whatever, we put Corey in, I wouldn't sweat it. But he just has done whatever we've asked him to do. He's never, and I mean never, complained. Has just been there for everybody. You watch him on the bench, he's the one guy that's always up and talking to guys. He is the perfect teammate.
All right, the game here on Saturday against Oral Roberts, you get to the lead and you could never really quite pull away, but what your general thought on how you played in that win over Oral Roberts?
We weren't great. There's just so much goes in with senior day too, the emotions of it. I feel like it drains people. So I've always struggled with, do you have the ceremonies before or after and all that stuff. There's just a lot going on underneath, and I don't know if that impacted. I think, some of what impacted is Oral Roberts is tough, and they played physical, and they threw it inside. They didn't take a lot of threes, and they beat us up inside. We're just not a real physical team. We played well offensively, or played well enough offensively to win the basketball game, but our defense didn't win the game for us.
Mike Dahm, 20 more points in this game. He's probably going to set the freshman scoring record, but when he's in there, you wanted him to touch the ball about every time down, don't you? In some fashion?
Yeah, I don't know what the stats are in terms of the country and efficiency and all that stuff, but I know when I look and the guy takes 8 shots and scores 16 to 20 points, that he should touch the basketball. And that doesn't mean he shoots the ball every time, but what it does do is it puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and they've got to make a decision on how they're going to deal with him, and then it gets other people open, and Mike's starting to pass the ball better. I think he's starting to understand that he's getting a lot more attention, and he's going to have to pass that ball when people are open, and they're going to be open a lot when he has the ball.
A couple other guys, Reed Tellinghusen, people have banged on him this year about not shooting the ball well and not playing well in stretches. He's played well the last couple of games, hasn't he? Yeah,
I think that he's scoring better. But what I say about all our players, you can't think that your value to the team is whether or not you're shooting the ball well or you're scoring. Your value to the team is defense and rebounding. The other stuff comes. We have good scores. You're going to do that stuff naturally, and but all the attention just goes to that. If a guy's shooting the ball well or scoring, everybody loves him. If he's not shooting the ball well, they're wondering what's wrong. And nobody pays attention to the stuff that really wins games, which is toughness and defense. Reed, nobody takes more charges on our team than Reed. He does a lot of the tough stuff, and he's been a great teammate too.
Which leads us to Jake Biddle, who hasn't scored a lot in the last several games, but he's doing those other things as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and Jake's just not. He doesn't practice a lot. He's not very healthy. He's got an Achilles, a heel problem that has, really, since he's come back from his knee injury, it wasn't a problem then. But when he started going full, it came up. And Jake's one of those guys. Like George is a little bit different. George doesn't need to practice much, and he can still do what he does because he just handles the ball and takes jump shots. And how much you need to be in practice for that. But Jake needs to be in practice for his rhythm, for his shape, and he's just not able to practice as much as he would like to and as much as we would like him to, and so it affects him in the game.
All right, and you turn right around, you get Oral Roberts again in the first round of the tournament. Doesn't matter to you who you play, right?
No, you're going to play a good team. Our league has been very even, and we know we're going to play a good team. I don't know psychologically, just play this team. I don't know what impact that has. We've got to get prepared and know that regardless of who we're going to play, they're going to be good, and they're going to be excited to play because it's going to be a good atmosphere.
And this week will be some time off, or what are you going to do? You got a week to get ready for this game?
There'll be a little more time off, probably 2 days instead of 1. And then, it gives us an opportunity to just get guys as healthy as we can. We're never going to be completely healthy. It's just the way it's going to be. But, it's an opportunity to work on some things that we don't normally get to work on because we have the time. And then as we get closer to the game, 1 or 2 days before, we start working on Oral Roberts again.
All right. And we almost forgot. You guys got a share of the Summit League championship again.
Yeah, it's 3 out of the last 4 years. We've been champion or co-champion, and I think 5 out of the last – or in the last 5 years, we finished second twice and first 3 times. So it's this has been a good run, and it's because we've had tremendous players. That's just flat out the main reason. And when you win, it affords you the ability to be able to recruit good players because they want to be a part of that program. We hope we can keep it going.
Aaron Johnston coming up next. What is the team vibe as the Jackrabbit women head into the Summit League tournament? Are they dangerous or vulnerable right now? We'll talk about that with AJ.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Well, the Jackrabbit women's basketball team not exactly rolling as we go to the Summit League tournament this weekend, but they are still going to be tough to beat. If they can start making a few more shots, they're going to be really tough to beat. The team got back from Western Illinois in the wee hours of the morning on Sunday. We sat down with head coach Johnston shortly after that.
You know, it was really a microcosm of our year. We just didn't make enough shots to put it away. I think we ended up shooting around 40-41% from the field. And honestly, in that second half, we probably missed 10 just wide open, uncontested shots. Some were almost layups, some were open threes. So played really well, just couldn't find a way to score enough points to pull out. Our defense, I thought, was very good, though. They hit some threes late to obviously make it a game and did a great job of continuing to play and put pressure on us. But our defense was pretty solid against a team that can typically score a ton of points. They put up 100, just the game before. So we did a lot of things well. We just need to find a way to finish and make a few more plays offensively.
What was the play at the end for Ellie, or how did that play with about 13 seconds left go?
Yeah, we really had three options. We went to Ellie, and she's been playing really well, so we're comfortable with her with the ball. She's up at about the elbow. We had Carrie coming off a screen, and Macy coming off a screen. So we felt like we had three pretty good players there that would have a chance to score. And Ellie's player was just pressuring her. She did a nice job going to the basket, a lot of contact. She had a really good finish there. And just made a play. And she's been playing well offensively. Not only getting to the basket, post moves, shooting the three, she's getting to the free throw line more right now. So she's been a real handful for other teams offensively. Made a real big play there for a sophomore.
And Clarissa, 18 points, 15 rebounds in this game for her?
Good to see her bounce back. She had two tough games, at USD, at IUPUI. Just really didn't play well. Got in foul trouble in both games. But Clarissa finished well at the basket. She got to the free throw line. She was a force on the offensive glass and got some putbacks, which was good to see. Just played a lot of confidence, and we need her to play well. We need both her and Ellie to play well. So maybe they can both build on this game going into the tournament.
And you talked about all year you haven't made enough shots. Has it been that way all year? I mean, early on it seemed like the offense was maybe a little more clicking, or has it been all year that way?
Yeah, I think it's been that way all year. If you look at what our stats have been, we're 40 to 41, 42% all year. And that's, for the kind of shots we've gotten, that's just not a high enough percentage to really be an explosive offensive team. So we're fortunate our defense has been very good, because we've had games where, we've had to win 55, 56, 57 points, and that's typically not where we're at. So I think for a lot of reasons, I think we're young. We have a lot of people somewhat playing out of position. We're a little smaller than we typically are, shorter, I would say, and that has an impact in your finishing around the basket, the kind of shots you get. So a lot of things I think have played into that, but overall, team's playing well. Execution's been good. We're doing things we want, and we just have to trust those shots will fall when we need them to.
And this was kind of a grueling three-game stretch at the end of the season before you get to the tournament, wasn't it? With at South Dakota, at IUPUI, and then this one.
Yeah, looking at just the numbers, you're playing number 1 team, number 3 team, and number 4 or 5, wherever Western ended up finishing. So it's a tough stretch. And really, we had chances to win all 3 and chances to lose all 3. Western had a chance to beat us, and we had chances, I think, at USD and IUPUI to play a little bit better. The game at IUPUI, we played very well there. We had about 2 costly turnovers that led to layups. We also missed 4 of our own layups in that stretch, and that's the difference. So for us, we're going to have to figure out how to finish shots and be a little bit more, just a little bit sharper, I guess, offensively.
Everybody loves the USD matchup, but you guys against IUPUI in the last 5 years has been really, really good head-to-head, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've been very good, especially at their place. They've had our number there last, I think, maybe 3 years, maybe. Played us really competitive here this year. They just have a very nice team. We've talked a lot about 2 teams, SDSU and USD, and I think I've always been really careful to say, boy, IUPUI is definitely as good as either of us, and they are in every game. So their talent is very young too, so they're going to be back and be a good team for a number of years, I would think.
All right, 2 seed in the Summit League tournament up against Fort Wayne. Does it matter who you play? Do you like this matchup? What's your thought going in this week?
Yeah, everyone thinks it's always coaches talk, but it isn't. You just don't get into if it's a good matchup or a bad matchup. It is the matchup, and you better figure out how to excel in that matchup or you'll be going home quickly. So honestly, I think that's how most teams would approach it. That's how we will. They're a tough team for us because of their ability to penetrate and get to the basket. Western Illinois exposed us a little bit. IUPUI exposed us. USD exposed us with some penetration. And if we can't guard the ball a little bit better one-on-one, Fort Wayne will be a real tough team for us.
All right. Your team healthy? Are there things we're not seeing, or I mean, most of the year has been pretty healthy, hasn't
Oh, yeah, physically healthy. I think we have a few players that may be a little mentally unsure just in terms of making shots. You know, Macy's been in a slump here in the last probably 3-4 games. Just hasn't shot the ball well. She doesn't look like she's the same player. Probably one of the first times she's had to go through something like that. And so it'll be interesting to see how she responds in the tournament. There'll be a lot of chances to grow as a player. Carrie a little bit the same way. So I'd really like to see those players step forward. We'll need them to. We'll have a hard time in the tournament playing at our level if we don't get great performances from all of those key players.
Up next, she has overcome injuries, stayed patient, fought back, and come back, and is now in her 6th season in the SDSU program. We'll play 10 questions with Gabby Bover when we come back.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Well, Gabby Bover was a great high school player in Worthington, Minnesota, came to SDSU, redshirted for a year, and then played for 3 seasons. She was granted a medical hardship last year and then made the choice to come back and play again this year. She's been very successful in her 6th and senior season, and she is in this week's Rapid Fire interview with David Brown.
All right. First question, your sister Maria, of course, played here at SDSU before you arrived. Right now, current present day, who would win a game of one-up?
Me. Absolutely. There's no doubt.
She's been out of it too long?
She's been out of it too long, too many kids. I'm too fast. She's too slow.
Not lacking for confidence. All right, well, going off of that, you're one of 11 children, so which one of you or your siblings is the best overall athlete?
Probably Simon, my older brother. He's the second oldest. He's a freak athlete, always has been. Just super, super athletic, super fast. He has the confidence of, anyone. He has the highest confidence.
What is your favorite TV show of all time?
Of all time, probably Ridiculousness on MTV. I love to laugh. I love to see people, as bad as it sounds, to get hurt and fall and stuff. So that's just my humor, and I just love the show.
Okay, then. I'm just kidding. All right, next question. Why are you number 4?
Number 4, I don't know. I was number 12. I had told AJ I wanted number 12, but Tara Heiser, she called me one day and was like, Gabby, I really want this number. It's always been my number. Can I please have it? And so I was just like, yeah, you can have it.
What is your best memory growing up in Worthington, Minnesota?
Best memory, probably all the times that we've had out on the farm. My best friend lived across the highway, so we would always bike over to each other's houses and kind of play in each other's sports and stuff, so that was definitely fun.
What is either the best or worst nickname you've ever had?
Oh my gosh. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, my dad used to call me Al. I don't know.
Why would he call you Al?
I don't know. I'm Gabrielle and then Al at the end. My sister Sarah used to call me Al too. I don't know why, but just when I was younger.
And you don't like that nickname?
I mean, it doesn't bother me. That's the only nickname that I can think of.
All right, we live in an age, obviously, of digital music. So
Yep.
Can you remember the last CD you bought?
Oh my gosh. Probably the NSYNC holiday one.
The Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Yep, the Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
And that's late 90s.
I know.
Shows how far we've come.
I know. That shows how old I am.
You're old and I don't know what I am. What is something that you haven't learned, like a skill or something that you want to learn one day? Like, do you want to learn how to play the piano? Do you want to learn how to do something else?
I wanna learn how to play the piano. I am not very musical, so I wanna learn how to do that, or dance.
Piano or dance, either one. Next question, who would win a game of horse among you and your teammates?
I'd like to say myself. No, I'm just kidding.
You can say yourself, you can be confident.
No, because I'm not a good shooter. Probably either Maddie, Macy, or Carrie. Yeah.
Pick one.
Maddie.
Given the freshman props, I like that. All right, last one. This is important. I'm a Minnesotan, you're a Minnesotan.
Yep.
Duck, duck, gray duck, or duck, duck, goose?
Duck, duck, gray duck.
Thank you very much.
Yes, because you got to go blue duck, yellow duck, purple duck, and then you go gray duck, and you go around.
This is why I like interviewing Minnesotans. Thank you.
And our thanks to Gabby Bover. Up next, the nationally ranked Jackrabbit wrestlers compete this weekend at the Big 12 Championships. We'll take a look at who the Jacks have in position to make a run at the NCAA Championships.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. The Jackrabbit wrestlers compete this weekend at the Big 12 Conference Championships in Kansas City. This will be one opportunity for individuals to qualify for the NCAA Championships. The conference gets a certain number of automatic bids in each weight class, and there are 8 conferences in Division I wrestling, so a lot of the national bids are going to be taken up in the conference tournaments. But wrestlers are also measured by winning percentage. There's RPI, and then there's coaches' rankings, and that is another way to earn a spot into the championships. 5 Jacks are rated in the latest coaches' rankings. Cody Pack is number 5 at 157 pounds. Pack is 25-2 overall this season. Nate Rodert is looking to go back to the Nationals again as well. Rodert is 12th at 197 pounds, and he is 24-8 overall going into the Big 12 Championships. Redshirt freshman Seth Gross is in the rankings at number 26. The Jacks 141-pounder has won 9 of his last 10 matches. He is 21-11 on the season right now. And then Alex and David Kocher, the brothers from Wagner, South Dakota, both ranked 28th in their respective weights. Alex at 149 pounds and then David at 174 pounds. He leads the Jacks with 26 wins right now. And at 133 pounds, Brant Sims, not in the coaches' rankings, but he is in the top 33 in the RPI. So bottom line, the Jacks have 6 guys with a very good chance of qualifying for the NCAA Championships coming up in New York City. And we have Summit League Basketball, the tournament live on Midco Sports Network again this year. All the games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.